this week's broadcast of the Esports Tower Rumble and Valorant. We're broadcasting it from the Boise State Esports Arena. It's time for our grand final show for the 9th week of the Esports Tower Valorant Rumble. Last week, we brought you all the action from the group stage and saw the Monsoons qualify for the grand finals. Tonight, we'll see if the Landslides or the Hurricanes will be joining the Monsoons in our grand final lineup. I'm your host, Artie Nerdy Bird Rain, and joining me to call all of the action is the one and only Michael Fish Fisher. All right, Fish. How do you feel? Well, actually, what type of comp do you think Monsoons need to pull out this evening in order to come out on top against the Landslides?
Well, don't get too far ahead of yourself, Dirty. We have to watch the Hurricanes first.
Yes,
but
my apologies.
no, again, I mean, I don't think anyone's going to blame you for assuming the Landslides are going to take care of the Hurricanes. No offense to the Hurricanes. We've never seen them on the stream, but the Landslides are absolutely cracked. But for either of these teams, I think there's two operators in particular you got to have. You got to have the Cypher because we know the Landslides are going to love to flank. You've got to have that tripwire. Even then, they're going to 90% of the time figure out how to get around that tripwire, and we've seen teams try it, but that's the only way you can slow down that flank when they are defending. And I think when you're defending, we've seen a lot of teams, mainly the Firestorms, do this. You got to have a Viper because that Viper wall shuts down their aggressive push because when the Landslides are attacking, they have one goal in mind, and it is go quickly, it is go fast, and it is absolutely run through your, split team, and then everyone rotates over. They already have the point. So Cypher and Viper are the two operators I'm looking for either the Hurricanes, and if they can't get it done, the Monsoons, who we'll see in our grand finals. Those are the ones I've got to look. If you have competent in those two operators, you have a chance is about the best I could say because the Landslides, we know, Nerdy, they have not lost ever since we've introduced this format. I don't know how you slow them down at this point.
On top of that, the only suggestion I have for anyone listening, if you're one of the team players that are going to be on tonight's stream, is mess up the timing of those flanks. Be ready for Prestige to be coming up behind you. This week's Valorant Rumble has a changed format with it opening up to more teams. The new format is uncapped in a team's best-of-1 single elimination bracket, leading to a best-of-3 grand final stage. Opening it up to all teams of any skill rank, the Rumble qualifies a high school team to compete in the Box Fight Championship Valorant Cup with pro players and content creators. The Landslides have not lost a Rumble since week 3, as Fish mentioned. They truly look to dominate this event yet again. Let's see if tonight is the end of their Cinderella story. And to kick off our evening, we'll be watching the Hurricanes take on the Landslides.
Yeah, I think, we gave our advice. I think we also probably got to give the Hurricanes Doc's keys. I'm excited to see the Hurricanes. We've never seen them on the stream before, to my knowledge. So always nice to see a new team kind of crack into those grand finals. I think the Monsoons, it's been a long time since I made it, I think back in week 3. So I'm very curious to see, but maybe Doc's keys can help out the Hurricanes.
Doc's keys to the game are presented by Esports Tower. Score pro advice at esportstower.com. Those keys in particular for Valorant are focus angles, especially those flanks, know your win condition, count cards, call abilities, and know the enemy econ. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up.
I think the one thing the Hurricanes have got going for them, we have been told that the first map for this best-of-1 semifinal is going to be on Breeze. Haven't seen too much of it from the Landslides. Of course, it did just get added to the competitive map rotation. I think we saw it for the first time a couple weeks ago. So maybe they've got that going for them. And I see the Cypher, and I see the Vipers. So I like this team comp so far for the Hurricanes, who are on that left side, going to start off defending.
I am very excited to also see the Sage and Sky combo coming out for those two support players. For the Hurricanes, I mentioned it before that those two, if working together, can be unstoppable.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very curious to see for the Landslides. We're used to seeing Prestige on that Sky. It's been his go-to operator in the last few weeks. Back on that Reyna, very curious to see. I think him and Mr. Memphi have absolutely popped off on that Jet Reyna combo for a few weeks. They kind of moved Prestige over to those more supporting operators like the Sage. Then he picked up the Sky. So I'm very curious now on that Reyna. This could be a very, very quick game for the Hurricanes if they're not careful, because right now, Mr. Memphi or Prestige, I feel like, could easily 1v5.
I feel like Prestige is even sending a message with that tagline of just built different. Definitely someone you got to keep an eye out for. They are a notorious flanker, and they can take out multiple people on their own. So good luck to the Hurricanes. I hope your Cypher comes in clutch for your full team.
And we also saw a couple new operators. Selexic was on that Yoru. Used to seeing him on that Killjoy. We saw CC on the Raz, which is going to be interesting. I think he's been the one person for the Landslides who's kind of been bouncing around operators. They played a fantastic Sova a couple weeks ago, though, and I would love to see him on that, maybe if they get to the grand finals. And then we also saw Snazzy on that Phoenix. So a little bit of a change for most of those operators. Of course, Mr. Memphi's always going to pick the Jet. So I'm very curious. Maybe the Landslides are just experimenting with a very all-go comp, and anytime that happens, you got to hope the Hurricanes are ready for it.
The Hurricanes have been working really hard with their coaches on the basics of this map, as well as movement and shooting and positioning that they need to be taking, and have been improving quickly over the last few weeks. So let's hope that pays off this evening for them.
The fact they're in these semifinals already tells me that they're doing a great job improving, but you see the landslides. This is a full-out A rush. Immediate information comes out, though. Everybody on the Hurricane's going to rotate over. Viper wall does go up, and so far the landslide's kind of stalling out. You see that pink canister kind of just go on to nobody, and it looks like we might get a flank here from CC. You can see on that RAS at the bottom of your map trying to take a different angle.
Raze is wrapping around, trying to get a better angle. We also see we've got Cypher coming around the top to come help out their team. They did completely set up B, but now 2 of their teammates have fallen on A. 3 of them are left standing. Only the Phoenix for the landslides has gone down thus far. Oh, never mind. So has Jet.
Yeah, Moldy Bread on that Viper actually got a quick double kill there. Took down Mr. Memphi and took down Snazzy. Thought maybe they'd have it, but now in a 3-on-1, looks like they're just going to rotate over. As Maja does take down Solix, but the rest of the landslides, you know what? They cut their losses. They're just going to go over to B and kind of leave this Jet hanging all by themselves.
Unfortunately, the spike did go down in a very easy-to-grab spot for the side of the landslides. I don't think Abyss has figured out that the rotation's already occurred and the spike's been grabbed. They need to make a choice here. Are they just going to try and stay alive? They know the plant is happening from Prestige, or are they going to try to go for that 2-man kill and pop, or maybe even an exit frag here? Only time will tell.
CC's low at 34, so if Majabis can get one shot on him, he can easily win this. I don't think he's going to expect CC to be right behind that wall. Doing a good job checking his corners, though. Looks like he will dodge him.
They did make a little bit of noise while they were rotating right there, so CC might have become aware of their location.
He's not moving. I don't think he heard it.
Oh, CC is on the move now. I think they realize that the clearance has come for them. They're trying to wrap around and sneak behind Abyss.
Uh-oh.
Spike's in standard spot. Now it's going to be ticking down to the 15-second mark here, and with that, Prestige long-distance shot taking out Abyss.
Prestige just had a perfect angle. They basically covered that phenomenally well. The only way Majabis could have actually got to that spike is he would have wrapped around the backside of B and tried to maybe dodge that angle. And this is the one thing we talked about. This is the only weakness that we've ever seen the landslides, Nerdy, was that they kind of sometimes struggled in the pistol round. I mean, we saw Mr. Memphi was the first one who was eliminated, but this is, I think, the second week in a row they're starting to win pistol rounds consistently, and that's going to be a huge issue because now the Hurricanes are going to have to eco that we do see a Marshall. Well, I don't know what happened. Maybe it's a requirement. We've seen a lot of Marshals come out recently in the esports tower. I don't know why.
Especially against the landslides, the marshals have been being used. It's like, okay, we can't afford to get the operator just yet, but instead we'll just go with the marshal and do our best to take you out a long distance range. We do see the Lear come out there. Now we're switching over to see Abyss. They got Flash. Mr. Memphi took out Moldy Bread, returning the favor for that early death in the first round. We do see Prestige and CC wrapping around, seeing Abyss taking them out one apiece there for Prestige and CC as Coaxel also goes down. Film that is last player standing.
Oh, he didn't. I thought he had the jump on Snaz. He didn't even come close. Snazzy with a great headshot, a flawless round. And this is what I was worried about for the Hurricanes. I mean, even though you mentioned they've been working a lot on their movement and their positioning, it's just the landslides are just built differently, as we talked about. And it's going to be hard-pressed for the Hurricanes to, I think, win this. I'd love to see them take a couple rounds and really get some improvement going long-term. But when you lose the pistol round to the landslides, that means the landslides are feeling themselves, and they're just on another level at this point. So I hope the Hurricanes can get a couple rounds, but I'm assuming Mr. Memphi is going to maybe get an op in a couple rounds here and just absolutely frag out.
I'm really hoping to see Cypher decide to set up the traps here on B and rotate back closer to their teammates as opposed to being so far away from anybody else. We also see that Sky's rotating back. Jet is coming in as well. They're aware the push is on B, and typically the landslides, once they start moving, they will not give up. Prestige is taking out Moldy Bread, so down goes one miss, and we see Abyss take out Snazzy. Both sides are equal on the agent number front. The Lear comes out from Reyna, and the Coaxel, nicely done. You've evened out the scoreboard and tipped the scales in your favor.
Oh, watch that Reyna at the top of your screen. Is going to rotate right into film that, actually. Prestige going on one of those patented flanks. The CC takes down Coaxel. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gets a great pick onto him. Now we're in a 2v3, but it's Memphi and Prestige, and that's never the spot you want to be in as Memphi gets the first elimination, and now we're going to see Prestige maybe take on film that off screen. And as I say that, Prestige takes him down. That's a 2-on-1.
Prestige still has their Empress engaged right now. They are forced to be reckoned with. 1, 2, 3, 4, trying to decide if they want to put the wall up or not, and when they stuttering a little too much. Mr. Menfee is able to capitalize on that. Another round goes to the landslides.
And this is why I love seeing Prestige on that Reyna. A round 3 Empress, absolutely insane. Haven't seen much of him in that carry role. Like I said, he's been on the Sky, he's been on the Sage a lot recently, but when he's on that Reyna and Mr. Menfee's on that Jet, that's just so much aggressive, in-your-face play the landslides can make. And the Hurricanes are doing a good job. I mean, you mentioned Coaxel. He did a great job holding down B, got a couple of great picks, but this landslides team, it just feels like they're just so good, especially that combo of Mr. Menfee and Prestige. It was a great flank. They're basically in the defender spawn, and that's where they planted the spike from.
We have Abyss here with the Marshal again, trying to keep this long sight line on B. We also see the tripwires are up, but they're all directly in the front. Nothing really making sure the flank cannot happen. The Cypher cage has gone up as well, and we've got Yoru with the side of the landslides with the spike, and now Filmnat has decided to throw out their Wolf. Got a little bit of information, but now they have to evacuate because they saw multiple people were heading their direction.
Red with that Sheriff, not able to get anything as we see Solix and CC get a 3-piece there. Filmnat also had the Marshal, so yeah, it has definitely been a growing trend of teams to pick the Marshal against the landslides. It's all up to 1, 2, 3, 4. Mr. Menfee gets another flawless for his team. They'll get the spike down as well, just barely in time. And the landslides, they look ready. Looks like maybe you came from the future there, Nerdy, when you put them in the grand finals, because that's like where they're headed right now.
I feel as though I might have jinxed it for the Hurricanes. My apologies in advance if that is truly how things end up. Going into this next round, though, the Econ's going to even out a little bit. The game does lend a favor to the side that has gone down multiple rounds in a row. So hopefully they'll be able to at least half by here, hoping to see every member on the side of the Hurricanes pick up light armor and possibly go for a little bit more of a full build kit here. If anyone has the ability to buy full armor, hopefully they do that as well.
Well, we see Maj Abyss with that Marshal once again. Snazzy's right on the other side, couple curveballs coming out. As we see Solix with that shorty. Uh-oh, one miss from the Marshal. Can't get the second one. Snazzy gets a flank. And it's already down to a 5-on-2 and Filmnat at 7 HP. Not in a good spot.
Filmnat did manage to get a nice hawk flash out there, but then Phoenix is returning the favor back-to-back. Moldy Bread found Prestige. CC unfortunately did take out Filmnat, and now it is just Viper standing for the Hurricanes. They have their ult online, but that does not mean much when you have to go into 4 people on the side of the landslides. Moldy Bread does go down to Mr. Menfee, the notorious fragger for the landslides.
Menfee only lives with 9 HP. That was a great shooting there by Moldy Bread. And I mean, we've been told by the coaches for the Hurricanes that they've been really helping the team identify common mistakes, looking at their game play, using pro examples to show differences and how to improve. And I do think the one thing is despite the scoreline being a little lopsided, I think the Hurricanes are going to learn a lot from this game, no matter the outcome. But they're also having some pretty impressive, performances individually. I think Moldy Bread has really stood out as a fantastic player for them so far. And they get a couple rounds. That's going to be a great VOD review for this team and going forward. So it's great to see that, maybe they're going to be a contender in a few weeks. But I don't know if they played the landslides in the past, but I mean, a lot of teams run into this buzzsaw very quickly for the landslides. We get Moldy Bread's ult, but he goes down before it can really go off.
We did see Mr. Menfee also pop the knives, and Moldy Bread 1, 2, 3, 4 both go down, hoping to see Cypher possibly pick up a kill and then allow for a retake to come out from their Jet with their knives. We do see Filmnat take down Mr. Menfee, but the Leer from Prestige with some help from Snazzy will find 2. Abyss will pick up 2 themselves. It's them going against just 2 members. Phoenix using the run it back. They're going to be able to take a shot, die basically, and resurrect themselves. They know exactly where Abyss is at. They're going to use their wall, prevent the line of sight there from being on them. We also see that Ray still has the spike. Haven't even bothered to try and run and plant it just yet. They're kind of chilling out. Now there they go. CC is planting it on A. Abyss, I do not know if you're going to be able to make it there in time. I really suggest you just try to stay alive.
They have the knives, so they don't have to just rely on the op. I'd assume they're going to go try for this. They might be able to get a good flank onto CC depending on how quickly they're able to go, because when you see that Snazzy's still over in almost the same spot he used that run it back in. So I think Maj Abyss has a great chance here to maybe take out CC, force that Phoenix back onto the site. If you get a clear sight line with this op, he might be able to do it. As we see, it looks like Raze is running away, and I think Maj Abyss might have just been a little bit too slow.
Abyss, get out of there. Yes, CC is closing that distance fast. They're making sure they're staying out of your line of sight, aware that you picked up that operator. Spike explodes. Abyss manages to stay alive with the ops, so that's a huge advantage for their side if they can capitalize it on the next round.
I think they got all three or two of the eliminations for their team. This was just hilarious to me. You see Memphi with the knives, misses a couple, and then film that with a perfect headshot with the Sheriff. And we've seen a couple of great jet plays against the landslides in recent weeks, and Maj Abyss is no different right here with this op. Has a couple of great shots, even takes down the run it back. So I like his chances here. He's holding down that sight line on B. Maybe Mr. Memphi brings out his own op and kind of tries to ego challenge him. That'll be something I would love to see as well.
We've got one of my most hated agent abilities online right now. Sky with those jellyfish. Ultimate is ready to go. Rain out for the landslides. Has the Empress ult online yet again, so we might see that just be used to engage and clear this entire site B. However, the Hurricanes picked up on that, and it's now just Viper over by A. Reyna's chilling out there. Prestige is trying to decide, do they go in, do they go help out their team? We'll have to wait and see, though, as we see Snazzy find Phil in that.
This is what I've been waiting for. Memphi and Maj Abyss both have the ops. Neither of them have been able to land a shot as Snazzy does get taken out by Coaxel, but Solix will trade out for him. They're going to try and push Maj Abyss, who's back there with that op. He's going to be close quarters here very soon. Solix trying to land a flash on him. Oh, Maj Abyss gets it. But Prestige flanked him from behind and ruined our op versus op battle.
It's okay, Prestige. We had our hopes up.
Planted.
You taught us a lesson. It's all right.
Ooh, Moldy Bread now going into Mr. Memphi with the op. Mr. Memphi barely dashing out of the way. He's probably going to get pinched here by CC. I don't think he realizes CC is behind him. Or they might just kind of hold him here as Mr. Memphi uncharacteristically missing a lot of shots. Here comes CC though.
Oh,
Moldy Bread is ready!
Bread, yes!
And now it's a 1v1. Memphi's going to challenge him.
I'm going to be real. I hope you pull out the showstopper right now and just take out Mr. Memphi, knowing that it's very difficult to miss with that ult.
I think unfortunately maybe had a fat finger there because we went to the replay as Mr. Memphi got the headshot. Very unfortunate there, but that was fantastic from Moldy Bread.
All right, we've got 4 ults online for the Hurricanes. I think Viper is going to be 3 to 4 ticks off of their ult. It is just Empress and Showstopper online for the landslides right now. Both huge game changers if used properly. We definitely had our previous host, Colorcaster, loves seeing double kills with the Showstopper, but Mr. Memphi takes out Film that 1, 2, 3, 4, forced to use that heal on themselves. They have that Resurrect online, but I don't think they're going to be able to go res their teammate as Snazzy finds them very fast.
Maj Abyss got the knives out. Probably trying to bait somebody into pushing them. A's wide open, but it doesn't look like the landslides have any interest in planting the spike over there. As you see, Moldy Bread is actually right above Mr. Memphi, and Snazzy will eventually take him out. Looks like the spike's going to go over. Ooh, Maj Abyss, 5 HP. I don't really know what you're going to be able to do with 5 HP as the spike gets planted, but at least a great pick there. It's Coaxel versus Prestige. Good little battle here. Prestige going to win that one. I like the Hurricanes, like I said. They have these small, bright spots. Moldy Bread's been fantastic. Maj Abyss has been great. Coaxel's also had a couple of great individual rounds. They just need to be able to put it all together, and I think this will be a very talented team, but unfortunately, you know, I just think that the landslides right now have one goal in mind. That's making it to the grand finals. They already took care of the Firestorms. Surge White's been eliminated as well. And this is a great, just focusing in by the landslides. We see a lot of teams sometimes when they go against a team that they think they should beat, they kind of troll, they kind of mess around. The landslides don't have that at all. That speaks a lot to their coaching to know that, hey, we want to make it to the grand finals. We don't care who we're playing. We're going to give you our all. And Mr. Memphi immediately domes Maj Abyss before we can even see.
The res comes out, though, from 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, just barely dodging the headshot. Mr. Memphi, though, returns that favor for the res onto the poor stage. They go down. The jellyfish is going to be used. The hawk is going to be used as well. The blind is out. The Sheriff from Film takes out CC.
Oh, somebody got Mr. Memphi as well. Down with that op. I did not see if it was Maj Abyss or not. That's huge, but here comes Prestige. Oh, he can't land the shots. Maj Abyss with another one. Snazzy's going to plan. He does have to run it back. But 1v4, especially with how Maj Abyss has been playing, is going to be very, very difficult.
Snazzy, I know you're a great player, but perhaps here it's best just to get the points from the plant and try to stay alive.
Maybe he drops to run it back, see if he can get a frag or two with that. Maybe make it a 1v2, 1v3. That might be a difference maker. I think he just heard Moldy Bread jump off. They're 3-man rushing the spike, which is a fantastic play by the Hurricanes. Film that going for the defuse. Trying to spray through the smoke, gets one. Oh, Film that just committed. Oh, he headshot him at the last moment.
Abyss, man, just take him out. There's just enough time to get the defuse as well. So with that, the defenders will finally win this round. Hurricanes getting a little bit of equalizer there. The credit should be more helping them out on this next one. I'm really hoping we see Coaxel pop their Cypher Neuro Theft on this next round.
That's just a great job. What's one on to Coaxel, then as Film that is about to defuse. Does end up eating the op, but a great play by Snazzy. But as you mentioned, Ernie, great job by the Hurricane winning that round. Yeah, the problem for Coaxel is his team's got to get a kill in a spot where he can use that neural theft, because the only really early elimination that round was on Mr. Memphi, but he was down B long, so he couldn't run to that body. So it's tough against a landslide to be able to get an elimination in a spot where they don't already have a teammate to take you out. And Maj Abyss having an insane game, gets first blood right as the round starts.
Now we also see the rotation starting to come out, choosing to stick and slow down a little bit in mid. Selectsic finds Coaxel and Film that. There's just 3 standing now for the Hurricanes. No ults online. We have 2 ults on the side of the landslides. Probably won't even need to pop them, as we do see the flash and Mr. Memphi once again clicking onto Abyss's head.
1, 2, 3, 4. Trying to do what he could, but he got flashed there, and there's not a lot for that Sage. And the landslides with a great response here. I'd love to see the Hurricanes get 1 or 2 more rounds, but I think Maj Abyss has been absolutely insane for this team. I don't know if he's going to be able to keep affording to buy those ops, but the way he's been playing is a bright spot for sure for this Hurricanes team going forward in future Rumbles.
I'm hoping when the Hurricanes have the opportunity to be on the offensive side, they take a page out of Riley's book and push together. I think that's going to be their best bet to go against the landslides, go fast, go hard, clear out an entire point, send 2 back behind you, knowing Prestige is most likely going to be on the flank, and just get the spike down.
Does look like it is, unfortunately, an eco round here for the Hurricanes, which is never a good thing against the landslides. You can hear Mr. Memphi with that op down on B, firing shots off. It's just the Cypher holding it down. Solik's trying to cut down a tree alongside Snazzy. If only.
This is an immortal object, my friends. You can't do that.
They're trying. Oh, we got CC over here as well. They're really trying.
Mr. Memphi looking down B long right now, seeing if Cypher will take a bold step into the main area. They know there's 2 people there now. Prestige and Mr. Memphi have been caught out.
They both have ops as well. This is a double op B rush for the side of the landslides.
The smoke and the Leer were both used just to get the opportunity to collect that orb. Now Mr. Memphi does have their ult online. Snazzy has to run it back still. We've got Showstopper online. The only thing the Hurricanes can bank on here is that Neuro Theft. Unfortunately, Film that will go down. Moldy Bread does take out Prestige though, so the score is evening out, and Abyss finds CC. 1, 2, 3, 4 did go down, but Abyss then goes down to Snazzy.
Well, maybe Cypher can look for a neural theft here. He's not really close to a body, however.
Oh, Moldy Bread. Moldy Bread, please. Please find Mr. Memphi before he finds you.
Ooh, that was nearly another collateral for Mr. Memphi, but Solik's there. He picks up 1. It's all up to Moldy Bread. He's going to pick up Prestige's up. He's got to reload, though.
Yes!
He gets 1, switches to the Vandal. Memphi coming forward with the knives. Snazzy finally puts an end to it.
Moldy got the 3-piece though. Snazzy also finished out with a 3-piece. Nicely done to both of you.
Round in the half.
This is the use it or lose it moment though, so hopefully everything from the side of the Hurricanes gets expelled on this round just to give them a little bit of a leg up, because going into the second half, 1 to 10 is never a position you want to be in.
It's a great just game awareness though by Moldy Bread. Didn't try and reload the op, immediately just switches to his pistol. Gets a great job on Mr. Memphi, who was going in for that knife last round before the swap, so we'll see all the cash come out. I love the double op play from the landslides, though. It didn't work out as much as they had hoped, but that was fantastic to see. Uh-oh.
Hurricanes, I want to see you go for the retake here. Don't try to defend the location. Let them go for the plant. Get a quick pick. Allow your Cypher to get in. Get the Neuro Theft, and then use your Venom Cloud as we hear the Empress get popped. Your Root pops their ult. Everything got popped, actually, for the side of the landslides. That is a scary moment, in all honesty. I think they're just going for the kills here as we see Prestige take out Film that. 4 members are still standing for the Hurricanes. 3 now as Moldy Bread goes down to Mr. Memphi.
It's hilarious to watch everything get popped. There was nobody actually on A for the Hurricanes. They're now going to try and rotate through the attacker side spawn with Maja Abyss 1, 2, 3, 4, and Coaxel. They might actually get a good look here in that mid. They do see Prestige. Not quite able to get a kill. 1, 2, 3, 4 ends up cleaning it up. We hear that off from Maja Abyss.
Oh, Coaxel saw Select like they have one health point left. Can they finish them off? They did get flashed there, but Mr. Menfee found Coaxel. It is now just 1, 2, 3, 4 using that wall, trying to make a little safe haven for themselves, knowing Mr. Menfee is hot on their tails.
Unfortunately, the spike's over at A. And since this is the last round, you know, there's not too many points to get an exit frag because you don't get to carry over any of your cash. I don't think 1, 2, 3, 4 realizes they're behind him. Bomb goes off.
Just stay
Takes
out,
out two just for
LOS.
good measure. And
Switching sides.
now we'll switch sides. 2 rounds away for the Landslides, making it back to another grand finals. And again, the Hurricanes are showing a lot of things that I'm very impressed about. For a team we hadn't seen on the stream, they have a lot of good things going. I can see why they made it to the semifinals this week. And I think even though, you know, playing the Landslides is never fun in the scoreboard department, there's a lot you can learn from a team that talented. And I think the Hurricanes can put this all together and continue to make runs and continue to get better from their VOD review from this game for sure.
Yeah, it's only a true failure if there's nothing that you learn or are able to learn from the experience. And you'll get plenty of opportunity with your coaches on this next evening that you get to hang out with them and look over this gameplay for sure.
I'm very curious if the Hurricanes can win this pistol round, because as we said, that's the one thing the Landslides have struggled with, and this might be the best chance, I'm not going to say for a comeback, but at least for the Hurricanes to get some momentum going, be able to maybe win another round with that econ advantage. So would love to see them, and I think all of it's going to be on Maja Abyss, who's been playing out of his mind right now on that Jet. Would love to see him maybe get a couple of quick eliminations.
Interesting to see here. We've got Snazzy on the flank this time as opposed to Prestige, the notorious backline fragger for the side of the Landslides. They're choosing to stick with their group a bit as we do see Moldy take out CC. Coaxel went down. Abyss, Moldy Bread, and 1, 2, 3, 4 all go down. It is now just film that remaining. Mr. Menfee's right in their sights, but Snazzy wrapping around behind takes them out.
Great flank by Snazzy. I mean, that's why the Cypher can be so important against the Landslides, because somebody's always going to try to flank you. It is now match point for the side of the Landslides. Would expect probably maybe a half buy or whatever the Hurricanes are able to afford. I mean, we've seen a lot of teams love to go with the Marshall in this instance over the last few weeks, but they're going to need something crazy here. Maybe if they all push A, it's only Prestige defending it, and they can overwhelm Prestige and force a retake here from the Landslides. And that looks exactly like what the Hurricanes are setting up to do.
Oh, Prestige is in line, is going to see multiple members of the Hurricanes here very soon. Let's hope they check their corners. The Poison came out and the Hawk, but the Hawk went too far. Hopefully Sky uses the Wolf. Unfortunately, 1, 2, 3, 4 is going to be judged by Prestige and go down. They managed to make it out. The Spike is now in a very bad position for the side of the Hurricanes.
Viper Poison also missed, so Prestige was able to just stand there. We see Prestige gets one more. It's all up to Moldy Bread, trying to make a play. Menfee's going for the knife.
Menfee!
And gets it in the final round. And the Landslides will advance to our grand finals, taking on the Monsoons, who hopefully can slow down the Landslides' domination here.
Well, in all honesty, Fish, I feel like if you want to slow down the Landslides, one of the key things you need to do is not go in alone. Riley always says those who push together win together, and going at it alone will only take you so far. If you want to increase your chances of success, you have to level up those teaming skills. We just saw that in the last play by the Landslides. However, Coaxel popped off multiple times. If they had some backup from their teammates, which I'm sure in the future we shall see, they'll have the opportunity to do just that and return the favor. Esports Tower takes the time to create well-matched teammates, and I'd like to give a shout out to the coaches. They're working very closely with everyone in their organization. And if you've been watching and haven't checked out Esports Tower, you should definitely give them a check on their website. It's the fast track to help you rank up.
Yeah, I think the Hurricanes are going to be a team that is going to continue to compete. They're clearly not at the Landslides level, but there are very few teams who are. But I definitely think the Hurricanes can maybe take down a team like Surge White, maybe give the Firestorms a run for their money and take them to overtime, and then you never know what can happen. But it was great to see the Hurricanes for the first time. I think there's a lot of individual things they did really well, as you mentioned there. I thought Coaxel was fantastic. I thought Moldy Bread was great, and Maja Abyss absolutely showed up and at times felt like the better Jet over Mr. Menfee, which we rarely say. So they take this, they get together as a team, they work on some things. I definitely think this is a Hurricanes team team that we're going to see more and more going forward in future Rumbles.
Yeah, we'll be very excited to be able to see them in the coming weeks. Of course, we'll be going back to our bracket stage at the start of next week. However, we'll be coming back from this commercial break to be heading into our grand final stage here, so make sure you come back after you go to the bathroom, get some water, and maybe pet a dog or a cat. We'll see you soon.
They are the greatest fighting force the world has ever seen. But what does it take to strengthen our service members? What does it take to let them know that we stand behind them, wherever they are? What does it take to bridge the distance and keep them connected to family, home, and country? And what does it take to prepare them for their future when their service to the nation is complete? What does it take to strengthen our service members so they can be the greatest force for good in the world? It takes a force. Be a force behind the forces. Give today at force.uso.org.
Nice to be able to come to the USO and have all this, lounge kind of atmosphere provided for you. We were playing Call of Duty on the zombie mode, basically getting to run our own little zombie apocalypse teams.
Good place to kind of blow off some steam, a way to kind of feel like you're back at home while you're away. We enjoy all different sorts of types of games, first-person shooters especially, because it kind of relates to what we do.
You get to the video games, dudes are still communicating, trying to make sure somebody's covering every avenue, and it ends up being probably a little bit more technical than your average gamer.
USOs over here are great because they're a great opportunity to get Wi-Fi, get some connection back home.
Everything is really great about the USO. I like movies a lot, and they always have movies. They have like pool and darts. I love coming out here when I get the chance, and thanks for bringing everything to us.
Welcome back to this week's broadcast of Esports Tower Rumble and Valorant. We're broadcasting it from the Boise State Esports Arena. And at last, it is time for Game 1 of our grand finals with the Landslides facing off against the Monsoons. Can the Monsoons make history tonight for us and be the first team to knock off the Landslides? Well, before we get to answer that question, Fish, I think we have some special words for everyone watching, and especially going out to a few of those students that we get to see tonight and have seen previously here in the Valorant Rumble and in our other Rumble events.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of fantastic players. We continue to see fantastic players in these events, but we do want to take a moment to congratulate all of the Esports Tower Club members who have been graduated from the club and have been offered scholarships across the country over the last 3 months. Esports Tower Club members have received over $1.2 million in scholarships awards. These students have not only worked hard on their in-game play, but have worked hard academically and have earned these scholarship opportunities. These players on this list that you're seeing right now are talented, hardworking, and driven. We could not be more excited and proud to see all these opportunities that these players are getting, and we of course cannot wait to see some of these players. One in particular we'll probably see a lot more than the rest in future collegiate events, but very excited to see all of these players. There are some big name schools, not only in just terms of name brand value, but in the esports side of things. Northwood University that we just saw there for Yimtra is absolutely insane in almost everything they do. He is probably going to win a lot of championships at Northwood, but there's some other great schools there as well. Of course, our own Boise State, University of Utah, who we see a lot, Bay State College. So cannot wait. Huge congratulations to all 9 of these players, some who we have seen a lot on the stream. Big things ahead of them. Hopefully they don't change their names so we can see them in the future. And of course, there's big things ahead of probably a lot of players on the Landslides and the Monsoons coming up in our first game of the grand finals. And unfortunately for the Monsoons, I don't even know if Doc's Keys is going to help them out, Nerdy, because I just got word this is on Ascent. And this is absolutely the Landslide's best map. They have wiped the floor with everybody on this map. So good luck to you, Monsoons. It's been a while since we've seen you. You have some talented players like Maeve and Muffins, Ellie as well. But anytime you take on the Landslides on Ascent, good luck. Because, I mean, I don't even know if that's enough of an advice for you. Maybe Doc's keys would help, but, I mean, the Landsides are just a different team on this stand. I don't even know how this got through the ban phase.
All right, well, Doc's keys to the game are presented today by esportstower.com. Score pro advice at esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. Those keys that we are hoping the side of the Monsoons can take to heart this evening in Valorant are focus the angles, flank, know your win conditions, count cards, call abilities, and know your enemy econ. And we can also see our beautiful Dr. Haskell standee right there. That thing has scared me on multiple occasions already, and we've only had it for like 5 days.
I just don't know what you can do here against the side of the Landslides, who look like they're going to be on the left side. So they're defending first, so that does give you a bit more of a chance if you are the Monsoons, because attacking-wise, we know exactly what the Landslides want to do. They want to rush A, and they want to absolutely run you over. And you can see they are on their full comfort comp here. Snazzy's the only one who kind of bounces around, looks like he's on the Omen. Meanwhile, for the Monsoons, I like the Sky, I like Pryor on that Sova. The Jet and the Reyna comp from Maeve and E is very interesting. Maeve, another one of those fantastic Jet players we've seen. She's a great top fragger for the Monsoons and is going to have probably one of the best games she's ever had if they want to stand a chance against the Landslides on Ascent. So watch out for Maeve on that Jet. However far they go, however many great kills they can get, is probably going to tell you how the Monsoons do here in Game 1 of our Grand Finals.
I really like seeing the Monsoons choosing to go with that Astra. We also have E, who's one of our notorious Viper players, choosing to go with that Reyna. They can pop off when they're playing Viper. I'm sure they'll be able to do that as well here tonight when they play Reyna for us. Let's see if they're able to stop Prestige on their flanks and go toe-to-toe with them. I'm sure they can, but they also got to watch out for Memphi.
Yeah, I really do like that the Landslides have come out here with their full comfort pick. We see Selexic on that Killjoy. We see CC on that Sova. That's probably the one I'm happiest about because CC's been bouncing around. He played some Jet. He's played some Rays. I really think he is a fantastic Sova player, and I think he makes the Landslides just even that much better, which I didn't even know was possible. Curious to see what Snazzy does on this Omen. He's kind of that, wild card. He has a lot of different operators he plays very well, and the one thing I don't like for the Monsoons, we talked about, you got to push together. They're all split up. The Spike's sitting in that, well, it was over in the B elbow, but now it looks like it has been picked up by Astra, who's taking a ton of damage.
They do have Sky on their side for the Monsoons, so hopefully they'll be able to get a little bit of heal if they manage to connect somewhere here on the map, unless Mr. Memphi finds their head first. And they do get that help from their healer there, so they're back up a little over half health. They still have the Spike. We see the Wolf go out trying to gain some information here onto where the people are coming in for the Landslides. It definitely saw at least 3 people. Hope they recognize that all 5 members of the Landslides are right there, taking the high ground there, expecting to see anyone pushing in here for the Monsoons. But the Monsoons, I think they're rotating now. Yes, they're rotating.
Here comes Mr. Memphi, though. Top of your screen, you can see him in that spawn, slowly pushing. No. He's going to sandwich, and no one's looking there. Great blind does go out. Nobody knows Memphi's there. They have to push in. Maeve gets taken out first. Here comes Mr. Memphi. Snazzy gets another one. He's going to see E right there.
Right.
No, there's Mr. Memphi. He'll finish it off with 2 to the head.
There was a huge blind out from Prestige right there as well. E, if you had just stayed there for a couple more seconds, I know it feels like an eternity, but the Landslides like to make really long, drawn-out flanks to mess up timings. Just wait there for a little bit longer, please, please.
Now, unfortunately, it didn't seem like they were on the same page because we saw the Omen smoke go out, and then Maeve just pushed through it and kind of got 1v1 by Prestige, and they didn't have any follow-up from their team. I don't know if they expected to push together, or as soon as the Omen smoke came out, maybe somebody backed off, but that was one of those where just a little bit of a communication breakdown. We do see Pryor's going to get that scouting arrow out. They're going all B right now, and look at Prestige on that Sky. He's coming right behind him. Somebody's got to turn around.
Mr. Memphi found one as well. Prestige finds Pryor. Ellie returns the favor, though, with some Sky-on-Sky aggression happening. We do... Oh, dang it. We had some even numbers for just a moment, but Selexic, Snazzy, and Memphi picking up 1 apiece right there. And the round is already concluded. The Landslides have definitely picked up the slack of not trying to lose the pistol rounds. I think, like you said, Fish, last week was the first time we saw them manage to take both back-to-back in multiple games. So they definitely have been working on that. I think that might partially be due to us calling them out on it.
I mean, that's your only weakness. That, it makes practice, I guess, really easy when all you got to do is practice the pistol rounds. And, I mean, that's the one thing they do, and this is why we talked about it in the open. If you want to beat the landslides, who are the operators you got to have? You got to have a Cypher. You need some way to slow down these flanks because it's now been Mr. Memphi and Prestige in back-to-back rounds have just come over. We see Maeve now is going to watch mid. Keep an eye on that flank as the bird does come out. Gets a great blind there from Prestige. So they're at least doing a better job watching the flank, but now they got to be careful nobody pushes through that B elbow.
Maeve is right up against Prestige right now, I believe. This could be a very sticky situation for them. The Wolf comes out, so they know they're there. Maeve, it's time for you to back up and get away. Hopefully a Hawk doesn't blind you. Your teammates are no longer helping you out. They have rotated. The Lear came out from your Reyna. Prestige, no. Oh, the trigger finger discipline was in your favor, but oh, never mind. CC already took out your Sky, and Muffins did go down. It is just Reyna standing now for the Monsoons. E did get out Selexic, but it's just not enough. I think, yes, Monsoons, you need to slow down. Just take your normal timing and have it.
I think if the Monsoons want to play this way, I think the biggest thing is they've got to have multiple people watching the flank because unfortunately Maeve lost line of sight on Prestige and he was able to bunker up in that corner where Maeve had no idea where they were. And you've also got to kill you got to gang up on the flanker and then rotate to the other bomb site. That's how we've seen teams really kind of annoy and just kind of disorient the landslides is if you gang up on Prestige, get a great kill on him, even if you have to trade 1 for 1, and then you can all rotate over to the other site, that's a lot better than what we've seen multiple times, which is usually Maeve's in a 1v1 versus the flank, which we see right now. They have eyes on Mr. Memphi, who will back off. But they're just all pushing B, and, you know, so far they've got to get a pick and either turn around or just go to the other site right now, because there's so much utility coming out for the landslides. Monsoons have got to just give this one up and push over to B, I think.
We did see that Prestige already expelled their Hawk, though, so it's going to give a little bit of clearance here. We've got Maeve watching Prestige. Oh. Unfortunately, though, the crosshair placement from Prestige was just a little bit better. Now the Jellyfish already using their ultimate. Sky is going to hunt down everybody and give them a little bit of a surprise blinding, opening up the opportunity for the landslides to come in swinging very fast. Hopefully the Monsoons group up, work together, and do not allow anyone to get separated as Prestige is already on the hunt.
Oh,
no! No, okay, E, thank you for putting a stop to that. We cannot let Prestige get away with that type of dirty play. Not saying it was truly dirty, but that's just, you cannot pop off that much, Prestige. Spread the love.
Pryor here, last man standing. Unfortunately, just gets caught there. And I mean, that was kind of what we were talking about is, you know, you go over towards one site. Does look like we're getting a bit of a tactical timeout here for the side of the Monsoons. And when you're down 4-0, definitely understandable. Also maybe, you know, potentially that Soba was having some internet issues because at the end of the round there, we did see him just kind of standing there, not shooting anybody. So hopefully they're able to clear everything up, not only with their tactics, but also with any potential issues. But they rotated great from A to B. The problem was nobody was ready for Prestige, and Prestige absolutely just popped off, and they weren't pushing as a team. So they did the first half of my recommendation, right, Nerdy? Now they've just got to put the whole package together.
Timeout's got 30 seconds remaining. Hopefully they're trying to coordinate some sort of group push here. Perhaps, you know, allow that Empress to get some usage. Honestly, I want to see Sky pop those Jellyfish just to get an understanding of how many people are in each direction and pick the one where the least Jellyfish go, pop the Empress, and then move forward from there because you can just sweep through the lower end of where people are grouping up for the side of the landslides and then just bunker down and prevent the retake.
Yeah, and I think the other problem here is that the Monsoons, especially from what we saw in this tournament in particular, making it to the grand finals, made a name for themselves getting early round first bloods and picking up a lot of those first bloods against other teams and having that full map control in a 5v4. Unfortunately, against the landslides, that will very rarely happen because their gun skills are absolutely insane, and they also have so many different angles they shoot you from. So when you're a great first blood team and you're going into the landslides, who are fantastic at being aggressive even when they're defending, I think it feels like the Monsoons' best ability is being neutralized right now, and that's why we're seeing them struggle here a bit in these early rounds.
Oh, this is an interesting shock dart, but it might be enough to, oh, I think it just was out of range of Prestige. And Prestige did take the opportunity to take out E, so there's going to be no Empress pop this round for the Monsoons. We've got Pryor now checking out, making sure that they've got no one on their flank. The Wolf from E is going to go see how many people are over here on site A. It probably did not pick up CC there on the high ground, but we do see that the recon dart for our Sova on Monsoon still is up. We see the flash go out. It did pick up someone.
Uh-oh. Prestige is right behind them.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Maeve ends up getting Prestige. Unfortunately, everybody turned around. Maeve was the closest person and probably could have handled that 1v1. As we now see Mr. Memphi and Solix are both going to push right onto Maeve. They have those jet smokes down to at least give them some protection. As CC gets Muffins, they're just going to pinch Maeve. They're able to get one. Mr. Memphi takes him down. There's not much you could do with a 1-on-4 when they all just push you like that. And that's just unfortunate that the whole team turned around and kind of just lined up for Prestige. I think Maeve could have won this gunfight. She probably said, hey, they're flanking, and then the whole team turned around, and as we're going to see in this replay, they just kind of were sitting ducks.
At least that does mean that there was great communication happening. It's just unfortunate lemming situations do occur when everyone is focusing on one target. There's not much you can do. I mean, legitimately, you ask for better communication and ask for better comms and utilization of them. Your team did that. They delivered.
Yeah, no, we're seeing round-by-round improvement from the Monsoons. The problem is they're just going against the Landslides who are just on a different level as Memphi picks up an immediate 2. That's his first death of the game, by the way. We're in round 6, and I think Memphi is now 8-1, which just speaks to how talented Mr. Memphi is. And now we see Prestige hanging out here, going to throw out that Hawk, not able to find anything. Solix is quickly going to realize where they're all standing. He picks up one onto Ellie, trying to find Pryor, who eventually does take him down, but Prestige is just going to pick him off, and Muffins in a 1v1. Didn't stand a chance at about 25 HP.
Prestige getting the 2-piece from themselves right there. Let's see if during this next round the Monsoons have every ult online. I really hope we don't see all of them pop. Just one, maybe 2 would be great. We've seen Hunter's Furies in the Tower Rumble get multiple kills in a row. I wonder if that, in conjunction with Empress for the Monsoons, can give them just enough of a leg up to come out on top of this round.
Yeah, I'm hoping that Pryor, and I mean, it looked like he's still been kind of sitting still a little bit, so hopefully he's able to get his internet figured out because, as you see, he's just standing there. So you never want to have it be a 5v4, especially against the side of the Landslides. We do hear the knives come out for Maeve to start things off, as Muffin's going to throw down a couple Astra smokes. Mr. Memphi gets that hop pick on Ellie. When Mr. Memphi has the op, you know things are going to go south for you in a hurry. Prestige takes out Pryor. He's going for the flank as well. Goes a great Hawk there. Picks up one, picks up another through the jet smoke. It's all down to E in the corner, and it's a 4-piece and another flawless round for Prestige. And it really does feel like, you know, the Landslides are just absolutely playing out of their mind right now. And I talked about this in the semifinal. This is clearly a team who respects their opponent, gives it their all every single round, doesn't have maybe a little bit of trolling, and they get kind of cute with everybody buying it off. This team has one goal in mind. It's to win the grand finals, to make it back to the box fight championships like they've done every week since we've gone to that format. And so far, you look at the scores, they're pretty focused in right now, especially Prestige, who is 16-3.
If you guys have watched some of our other Rumble tournaments, we do have Rocket League, and there is a team there known as St. John's Bosco that since their joining of that group tournament have been unstoppable and not lost a single championship, and the Landslides are hoping to do just that themselves here in the Valorant Rumble.
Got Prestige, he's coming on that flank once again. It's only Pryor who's not even looking in the right direction. We're going to follow his arrow as CC picks up a double kill.
No.
Prestige is literally behind him. Pryor has no idea. Oh, he almost turned around, so Prestige couldn't get the knife to the back. It's a great flash on to Maeve. Ellie does pick up double, but in the end, actually, that was down to a 1v1.
Dang.
Ellie nearly clutched that one out.
That was nicely done, Ellie. Way to be. That was multiple enemies just fell immediately to you. It's just Pryor. You got to turn around just a little bit faster.
Yeah, I don't think anybody knew Ellie was there, and just like we saw a couple rounds ago where Prestige just kind of sprayed them all down, that's exactly what Ellie did. Prestige just barely got the last laugh, and now we see the Landslides have almost every ult up as well. Again, a lot like we saw in our semifinals. There's a lot of, you know, small bright spots for the Monsoons. I mean, this is a best of 3, so they do have a couple opportunities. As Prestige, I don't think he saw Maeve, but unfortunately that Marshall not going to land many shots. Still can't find anything. Maeve's going to have to run away, and now Solix is right there. Oh, Maeve gets one.
Can you get Memphi? Can you get Memphi?
Oh, Op versus Marshall, never a spot you want to be in.
Oh no, we hear the Hunter's Fury come online. Snazzy, Prestige, and then yet again Snazzy picking up another kill. The Hunter's Fury did not seem to pick any. Oh, nope. Pryor goes down into it with a little bit of help from Snazzy on that one. No, I'm going to say that that was Snazzy's kill, so no celebratory Hunter's Fury picks on that one, CC.
I think actually both Hunter's Furies did get popped there, so one of the few times we haven't seen Hunter's Fury pick up a ton of kills. And, I mean, you just see Prestige right now at 21-3. I just don't know what you tell the side of the Monsoons because I feel like they're playing, for the most part, a pretty solid round. I do think that it appears that maybe Pryor has had some issues, and of course 5v4 is never a spot you want to be in, especially at the landslides. So, I mean, besides telling, having say, hey, make sure Pryor has better internet, I don't know what to tell the Monsoons as it feels like they're playing well. Unfortunately, ooh, that's a great pick on the Memphi, and Muffins gets one on to Prestige. It's a great start to this round for the Monsoons.
There goes the top fraggers right away for the landslides. They do have the Killjoy ultimate online. Omen has theirs as well. Astra does have the Astral Wall, though, so they could use that as an opportunity to pick a location and just go. We see the rotation coming out. Maeve, she's pretty split off from the rest of the Monsoons as we hear Sky pop those jellyfish and try to hunt down the locations of everyone that is still standing.
Great rotation. Maeve's going to bait him perfectly. Gets one. Unfortunately, if they would have shot at Sulix first, I don't think CC saw them. Sulix trying to take care of those jellyfish. Gets Hawk Flash there. We do see a couple of swarm grenades going out. It was a great rotation here by the Monsoons. They just need to get this spike down and defend it in a 2-on-4. Probably going to expect maybe a Killjoy to come out here from Sulix. They've got to be careful. It's E with the op that they have to watch out for in particular.
Did see E also run back to make sure there was no one hiding out. Way to check your corners. The defender Killjoy has been popped. So now Monsoon's got to make a decision. Are you going to stay in, get detained, and just be basically a T-posing target for your enemy? Or are you going to get out? No one was detained. It was not in the perfect position. Sulix, Snazzy, and again, Sulix picking up 2 and a 1.
Oh.
But E with that operator managed to get one. Can they pick up Snazzy? Their health, both of them, super low, but oh no, E. Gosh, dang it.
Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to get the spike, though. So, in the end, it's still a round win for the side of the Monsoons. Yeah, unfortunately, when you're low health and you have the op, it's going to favor the guy with the gun. And that Killjoy is very close to pushing them back, but it did put them all back in this boathouse, and they're kind of all stuck here. E with this op has been an insane bright spot for the Monsoons. Would love to see him have it in a couple other rounds if he has the credits for it, because I think he got 3 picks with it. Yeah, he picks it up again. He is the top fragger on his team. Unexpected for E to be that good with the op, and maybe that'll give the Monsoons a bit of an edge here, because I don't think the landslides are ready for it, and he did not miss a shot.
Monsoons got to be careful. We did see one player for them completely spend all of their credits. Perhaps asking one of their teammates to help them out would have been to their advantage there. Did not seem like it was an eco round, so using everything you have in your gas tank, so to speak, is not the best way to go. As we see Prestige and Memphi pick up a couple, but Memphi has a 3-piece right now. CC closing it out, allowing the landslides to get a flawless round.
When you win one off the landslide, they just come back that much stronger, especially Memphi and Prestige. Probably a little upset they had to watch all of that round from the dead screen. Last round before the swap, you expect everything to be used here for both teams.
It's like a Hydra, you cut off one head and 2 take its place.
I mean, it's insane to me how good the landslides have been, and it does look like, unfortunately, as you mentioned, the Monsoons went all in on that round. So they're going to be a bit weaker here in this final round. Ooh.
Memphi!
The moving knife onto the man with the Marshall. Never what you want to see. Sulix gets another one as well. They're just going to rush right in to this B lobby here. Ellie's got nothing more than a pistol. Is going to be able to use a dog and get a Hawk Flash off there. Prestige, though, takes care of business, and it's all up to E, who just kind of gets run over.
Typically, the favor goes to the side that is defending first. For the Monsoons, though, playing into landslides made that a little bit difficult. We are now rotated. We've now swapped sides. Monsoons are on attack. How they handle this, though, is really going to determine if they can keep their heads above water long enough to see the turnaround and reverse sweep of the landslides. But I think if they want to do that, Fish, they need to get information, get it fast, pick the side they're going to go to, and just rush it.
Well, I mean, this is going to tell me how much homework the Monsoons have done, because we know exactly what the Landslides are going to do. They're going to run right at A, and they're going to run at A every single round until you stop them multiple times in a row. So I understand you still, you never want to fully commit to a site because that can cost you, but you see here, the Landslides are all ganged up. They're going to rush A as hard as possible. E's going to have to try and get a shot off. Can't even get one before he gets a sheriff to the head from Solix. Now everybody's got to rotate over, but that spike's already going to get put down. CC was waiting for a flank that never came. And now the Monsoons got to go on this crazy regain here. So you got 2 up in heaven as the spike gets planted.
Maeve is unfortunately sitting down at half health. Hopefully their Sky can help them out. Beyond that, I want to see that the recon dart go in to pick up some information from prior to get where people are. We do see the Wolf getting popped, but before it can get too much info, Selexic takes it down. They find Muffins, they find Ellie. Now it's just 2 standing for the Monsoons.
It's all up to Maeve. CC gets that elimination. Match point here for the Landslides, and it's going to feel like deja vu because unless they're going to get creative with it, they're just, I would assume, all going to line up at A and stuff it down your throats, especially with the econ advantage.
But of course, if you're on the defense for the Monsoons, you cannot, I guess, count your eggs before they hatch and bet the full push on A. Yes, Fish, I'm in agreement with you on that one.
You probably have to go like a 1-1-3, 1B, 1 mid, and then 3 on A.
Yeah, that would be a better split, I feel, than the 2-1-1, the 2-1-2 that we see happening here. We do see that E gets blinded and Prestige manages to find them, as does Mr. Menfee on Muffins. The 2 that were defending this side have been taken out. Maeve is in heaven. Menfee tries to find them, gets 8. 8 held on them down, but Selexic cleans that up. Ellie picking up 2. Monsoons, it's just you, Ellie. Are you going to be able to frag this one out, or are you just going to try and stay alive to keep your credits in order? And as I say that,
yeah, you wouldn't want to stay alive because the game would have ended, and unfortunately those credits don't carry over to the next game. But again, great job by the Monsoons. We'll see what map they come up on game 2, because that is the Landslide's best map. That's the one bright spot is it can't get any worse than it just did.
Icebox. My vote is for Icebox. I know everybody hates it, but it's according to the Landslides, it's their worst map.
Well, we will have to see. Well, if you want to be seen by expert college recruiters, talk directly to eSport industry insiders like pro athletes, team general managers, and game producers that join the club. Esports Tower players get insider access to industry insights. With our featured Rumbles, recruiters are taking notice as well. It's a great way to score exposure if you're looking to start your path to pro, or as we saw earlier, land a collegiate scholarship. As we mentioned, 1.2 million collegiate scholarships offered to eSports Tower players that were moving on to the collegiate level. So it is a great place to be if you want to have a spot in collegiate esports. Go check them out, esportstower.com. Again, I mean, I'll have to do some digging and see exactly how Esports Tower does the map bans for the grand finals in particular, because, I mean, I don't know how you let Ascent get through against the Landslides, because we just saw they're absolutely insane, especially defending. But again, for the Monsoons, that's their best map, so it should get better for you. And there is kind of that debate that I think they're really going to have. Do you pick your best map for Game 2, or do you pick the Landslide's worst map? That's going to be probably what's going on right now with the Monsoons is, do we pick our best map, which I've been told is Bind, I believe, or do we just pick Icebox, as you mentioned? We've been told, allegedly, the Landslide's worst map, but they've never lost on Icebox. So that's probably the debate they have. What would you do? Would you go other team's worst map or your best map?
Okay, so I'm going to favor your suggestion here a little bit more and go with my team's best map, unless I know the history of the team we're going against, which in this case it's the Landslides. If I know that they have outperformed multiple teams, including the Firestorms, which is someone that we have, well, a team that we've consistently said could possibly be the ones to overthrow the Landslides. If they've overthrown them on that map, then pick Icebox. If they dislike it that much, grind that one hard. It may not be your best map, but it's going to give you the best opportunity you can get to come out on top. And then pick your best map for the last one. That one's going to be the in it to win it. All bets are on the table. Everyone takes all levels type game. But I feel like to give you the best advantage is to give the Landslides the worst advantage possible.
I completely agree with you. I think that depending on what their best map is, I've been told it's Bind. I don't quite remember the Landslide's history. So, yeah, I'm assuming Bind or Icebox. We're going to take a quick break, though. Can the Monsoons get us to a Game 3? And then maybe who knows what's going to happen? Or will the Landslides do what the Landslides always do and win another championship? Don't go anywhere. We got Game 2 coming up after this break.
Are you guys ready? How do you guys are ready, bro? Here we go. Prepare your ears, chat. Prepare your ears. Here we go. Yes, sir. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Schmeed Cup. They're not going to be ready for this. Oh! Oh! Nitro with 2, 3.
Get down. Dark wave. Get down.
Well, he got the ace. He got the ace to close it. Corey is your first Schmeed Cup champion. UFC events, brought in some heavy hitters to support this tournament. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was the first Schmeed Cup. Hashtag never alone,
Hello, I'm Rajneesh Khanna from iCultivewear and Chopra Foundation. Mental health has been brought up a lot recently and proven to be at the forefront of our conversations. As we begin to understand how comprehensive it is, we should open up a conversation that mental health is not one size fits all. We all need help or just someone to talk to from time to time.
Mental health is a very serious thing, so I'm glad that we were able to run this tournament and showcase and just show that and help support that cause, for mental health. So thank you guys so much. Let me go talk to the Esports Tower team. Yo, what's going on, guys?
Hello, man.
So how did it feel playing against 10s?
I was shaking.
Yeah.
Shaking the entire time.
You guys got rounds, right? So that's all that matters.
Yeah.
And don't feel down. You
No,
literally
I
just
feel
played.
I feel great right now.
I'm coming out of this. Yeah, you guys literally played against one of the most stacked teams, I think, of this tournament. All the people that are watching too, like, you guys can do this as well. You guys can earn your chance. Go look up Esports Tower, and they're doing good things over there.
The news says Gen Z is struggling. I've got news for them.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives. And led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
Welcome back to this broadcast of the Esports Tower Rumble in Valorant. We're broadcasting it from the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. The Landslides dominated Game 1 on one of their best maps. Can the Monsoons, however, force a Game 3? Fish, how do you feel? What do you think?
Well, we have been told, as we talked about before the break, that we are going to bind next. It is the Monsoons. One of their better maps, and it's a map that they have dominated in this tournament, in particular in this run of the Grand Finals. So I like the choice. You pick your best map when you're up against the wall. I don't want to say that we're going to go to a Game 3 yet, because, I mean, it's once again, it's the Landslides. They've never been taken to a Game 3 by anybody in particular, not even the Firestorms, not Search White, and I don't know if Monsoons will be able to do that as well. So we see the rosters here for both these teams, but I think the one thing is I think we're going to get a better game from the Monsoons. I think they're going to be ready to go on this map in particular. I think all eyes have got to be on Maeve and E. They absolutely had individual pop-off rounds. Now the question is, can they put it together at the same time? Can they watch out for those flanks? Maybe somebody picks up a Cypher on the side of the Monsoons, but if Maeve and E can run that that Jet and Reyna back, as well as they did on Game 1, there's a chance the Monsoons maybe get us to a 6-6, 7-7 at the half, which is where some of the better teams in the Esports Tower have found themselves against the Landslides.
In all honesty, I'm hoping to see the Monsoons actually pull out a Killjoy on the offensive to use the alarm bot to prevent a flank from coming out as opposed to Cypher wires, because just something that can do a little bit more might help in their favor. But that's my advice. However, there's someone else who might be able to offer a little bit more, and that is Dr. Haskell. Doc's keys to the game today for Valorant are focus angles, flank, know your win condition, count cards, call abilities, and know the enemy econ. Doc's keys to the game are presented today by Esports Tower. Score pro advice at esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. The only thing we're missing in this picture is Doc.
Like the real Doc,
the real Doc in there. So we have all three, the trifecta of Docs.
I don't even know if the trifecta of Docs would be enough to knock off the landslides, though. That's the problem with how good this team is. I mean, they're continuing to be one of the most dominant teams. I mean, they're the one team that, you know, the crazy thing to me is we talked about all these Esports Tower players that are getting scholarships. Of course, these players aren't old enough, so they can't be offered scholarships. But when this team starts to, you know, I'm really curious to see what those 6, in particular on that attacking side, do in the collegiate, or those 5, excuse me, I can count, on the right side do at the collegiate level going forward in the future. But we get to Bind. We get a big swap from the Monsoons in terms of operators. We do see Prestige, the only one who's really changing it up. Snazzy on that asterisk. Played it a couple times in the past. I said Snazzy's that wild card. He's going to kind of rotate around, but I like the Viper for E, as you mentioned, Nerdy. Maybe one of the best Vipers in the Esports Tower. Muffin on that Cypher, another operator we've talked about a lot. Ellie, going from the Sage to the Rain is the one I'm going to have my eye on the most. Those are very different play styles, and I'll be curious how well they can pull off that transition.
The only duplicate we see here is the Sova and CC and Pryor. We'll see who can use the abilities better than the other one. That might help the team out, might not. Very interesting to also see that we don't have any form of heals coming out for either side here. So for the Monsoons, they're really gonna have to be careful, play natural cover, play those corners, and check corners to make sure that there is nobody waiting for them with great trigger discipline, and just watch the flank.
I don't know if I like Maeve on this Omen. I would have liked to see them still on that Jet, just because I think they're a fantastic Jet and that mobility, especially against a team like the Landslides, being able to dash out of that line of fire, especially if Maeve wants to go with that op again. We saw him with the Marshall a couple times, so I'm not a big fan of the Omen, but we'll see. We have seen, I think, it's the second week now that we've seen Prestige pull out the Breach. It might have actually been on Bind last week as well, so maybe we're taking on a new map-specific operator for Prestige, and we'll see how he does on a newish operator. As I mentioned, he played it last week. I think it actually was on Bind. I don't remember who it was against, so maybe they just kind of like Breach over the Sky on Bind.
We'll have to see. It does look like the spike was forgotten. Okay, never mind. It was picked up by Astra there for the Landslides. Traditionally, you know, being on attack first is not something you want to see. The Landslides, they've been cleaning up those pistol rounds, so if they can start off strong and keep it strong, they may come out on top. But the Monsoons are at a slight advantage here, and thankfully there's no one, they don't have to go against the Yoru, who can throw out duplicates through the teleports, because that's so annoying to have to deal with on this map.
I was worried there that Solix maybe hadn't connected. He was in the spawn for a long time. Once again, the trademark on the Landslides, they're going to slam it down your throat on one site, and it is everybody on A. Ooh, E gets a great pick off screen. Ellie gets another one. Make that 3 for the Monsoons right off the bat. Solix gets one, gets another though. Can't even get there on the main. No, had to reload, and it's a statement round win there for the Monsoons. They just absolutely dominate, especially that combination of E and Ellie.
All right, let's see if the Landslides decide to stick with the A push yet again. I mean, they like A on any map. We don't really fully understand why, but it's a hard thing to get them to choose to rotate towards the other site. So if the Monsoons can just set up Cypher on B, and then Cypher immediately rotate to the mid and wait to see if anyone spots the Landslides on A and then just rush there, that might be the best thing you can do. But we do see it is still that 2-1-2 sort of split coming out here for the Monsoons. They haven't quite figured out that one location is pretty much heavily favored by the Landslides, but we might be eating our words here, Fish, because it looks like they're finally deciding to go B, because E picks up Mr. Memphis in the mid with that Marshall.
That's the other thing I want to watch out for is the Monsoons' love of the Marshall. I think there's 2 of them on the map right now with E and Maeve. Not quite sure why they have such a fascination, as Prestige is going to get a great stun, but Muffin still takes him out. Snazzy trying to drop those Astra walls down. As the spike does get dropped, Solix going to pick it up here, and a great start to this round for the Monsoons. Maeve at very low health trying to bang CC through that wall on Hookah, but the Marshall love here for the Monsoons is something crazy, as Muffin gets another great pick onto Snazzy.
The only one really hurt right now is Maeve on the Omen. We do see that the recon dart went off. Selexic found Maeve there. CC is right by Selexic, so they're going to be a little careful here. Grouped up, working together. The recon dart goes out. Let's see if it'll pick up anyone's location. Pryor's ready with the shock dart. Let's see if that one will manage to land and stick anybody. We've seen that one from all of our Sovas kill people here before. But Muffins takes a shot, but unfortunately can't return it.
Does look like that does give the information to the Monsoons that it is a B-side push, as we're going to see CC and Solix push in. CC will get the plant down.
Oh, Pryor, I see what you're doing. You were waiting for the plant.
Look at that. Great shock dart. It didn't even matter, though, as E absolutely popped off. Picked up a double kill while we were watching those shock darts from Pryor. E going a little bit crazy there, and the Monsoons up 2-0 already. A far cry from how Ascent went, and you can see why they think Bind's their best map and why they probably picked it here in this winner-go-home game.
We cannot say anything yet, though, because the landslides in the past, up until last week, would lose both pistol rounds, and despite the eco diff, still bring it back. So now, Monsoons, I challenge you and hope that you manage to maintain this lead throughout the course of your defense here, and we start round 2 with you in the lead for the remainder of this round so we can go to a game 3.
Yeah, the one thing that usually I think the team Monsoons do better is usually we've seen the Landsides lose the pistol round and still just win the second round even with just pistols. So that's one thing that I think the Monsoons have already done better than some of our teams, as we see a shorty and a Marshall.
Oh!
Mr. Memphi was not ready for that at all. And I remember that from last week. He always bought the shorty, and I was like, what? Why do you have the shorty? And I guess this week he shows me why he always buys that shorty as his secondary, regardless of how much, credits he has and why he just doesn't stick with the pistol. But
I told you, it's for that close range surprise.
especially when you have that Marshall. But CC gets a double kill there, and unfortunately the landslide's not going to push onto that site. E's going to get taken out by CC, who's now on a triple kill. And here comes Pryor and Muffins trying to rotate over and salvage this round.
Got the recon dart going out. If Snazzy gets the plant off, let's see if they'll take out the dart too soon for it to gain any information. I think it did go down. Ooh, the concussion blast did go out as well. Pryor and Muffins were both caught into it. We see that we've got, as the drone gets flown into LOS.
Prestige on the flank. Oh, he ends up bailing on it. Ooh, Muffins gets one. Snazzy's going to get the one onto Muffins, though, so they trade it back. Prestige going to push Pryor. Pryor trying to spray him down.
Yes!
Gets one. It's a 2-on-1 here. Pick up the Phantom.
All right, are you going to go for the exit frag before you can make that decision yourself? Snazzy makes it for you.
Yeah, you got it. I like the play there. You cannot give rounds away against the landslides. Try to challenge him. Snazzy's only at 25 HP. If he lands a shot or two on him, it's a 1v1. But this is just a great play by CC, who's been getting better and better every single week for the landslides. And now that CC's coming to his own on this Sova, especially, has kind of figured out an operator that works for him. That is what has made the landslides, I think, even better, is that they really have 5 solid players who at any point can be your top fragger. But we see E already rushing that operator. He wants to try and hold down that A site in particular. Bad news for him, he's not going to see anybody for a while.
I think the decision has been made by the landslides to go against the grain for themselves here and choose to go with B. It worked once. Let's see if it'll work again, or if the Monsoons have figured out that they're now favoring a different site.
It's got to be risky now, especially with E rotating over with that op. Gonna try and take a couple shots into Hookah, see if he can get a one-shot on anybody. You can see the bullets whizzing past Maeve. There it is, headshot onto CC. Now you got to wonder if you are the landslides, if you want to rotate. E gets another one. Sulix didn't even move. And you see the other 3 members of the landslide still all waiting there. They got to be careful for E, but he does get taken out. Prowler will turn the favor onto Prestige, and it's a 2-on-4 here for Snazzy and Mr. Memphi.
Got to be careful now. They've lost that op. Make sure that Mr. Memphi cannot get their hands on it, or one of their other teammates, so they can just give it away to them the next round. Mr. Memphi did get the spike. They've used the TP. They're running towards A, and the only person I think that's realized this has begun is Maeve. She's rotating behind A site. She'll be able to be on the high ground, but will it be enough for her to gain the advantage? As Ellie finds Mr. Memphi, the spike goes down. Astra, I don't think you're going to be able to win this one out against 3 almost full health enemies from the Monsoons.
Oh, still going to peek it. Oh, gets one on the Maeve. That puts the operator down. Still going to be a hard one. Here's Muffins, takes care of business.
Grab the op, grab the op.
Nobody grab the op.
Grab it, please.
Oh,
no!
They both went to tactically crouch on Snazzy's body instead.
The BM is not worth it, my friends.
Oh, man. That's just, I mean, they still win the round. I don't think in the long run it's going to matter, but that's 5,000 credits that unfortunately kind of got thrown away here by the Monsoons. Not the play you want to see happen there, especially when you're the underdog. We do see it looks like, though, Mr. Memphi is going to have to be forced. I think there was one other member on the land sides who both could be forced to stick with the pistol. E is immediately going to throw down that Viper ult.
Oh, the landslides have returned to their tried and true A side. Maeve completely blocked off the opportunity for anyone to cut through on the left to get to it. They're trying to lock down showers. Will it be enough? Ellie is running. E's just chilling out inside their smoke.
Just waiting there.
Is anybody going to try to enter? Let's see. Oh, possibly. Nope. They're going for the long rotation.
Yeah, they're just going to go over to B. Snazzy maybe trying to look for an exit frag here. Doesn't look like they're going to find it. Maeve's on the other side of this wall. Prestige is actually going to run up right onto her. I don't know if Maeve heard them or not. Prestige isn't looking in that direction, though. He's actually looking for E. If Maeve peeks, he's going to get a free kill.
Yes, Maeve! CC is so low. Oh, dang it. Okay, yes, it's smart. Don't chase. Don't be like me. Going slow. Trying to get the angle here. I don't think Mr. Memphi believes that CC is in need of complete backup, but Maeve is choosing to take the long route here. They might expose themselves. The Cypher Cage went out. Mr. Memphi is really low on health too. So now 2 players for the landslides, despite the 4 that are up, are critical, and Astra now is in that range as well.
Oh, we see double teleport actually comes out from the landslides. Trying to get back to this A side. They got to get the spike down soon. Yeah, they're just not going to get the spike down. They took way too long. Ellie gets 1. Ooh, but Solix, that's a great pick at the end there, unfortunately, for the landslides. They just took way too long. They had Snazzy on A the whole time. I think they were hoping Snazzy could get a pick onto somebody, but just never was able to get the good shot. And yeah, time they came through that teleporter, it was way too late. They did pick up 1 elimination onto E, but they only had the judge. But the big one here was this elimination onto Ellie, who did have the AR, and that's going to set them back. But you see on the scoreboard there, E at 9 and 4, top fragging for their team. He's got that op ready to go once again.
Muffin's hurting a little bit in the credit department, but E has more than enough to help them out in the next round. Everyone for that side of the Monsoons got a full buy. Up by 3 right now. They are in a great position. Let's hope they can maintain that lead and are aware of the ults on the side of the landslides. E, yet again, finding Prestige's head. Now, let's see if you can do more, E. You've been popping off so much. Snazzy's right around that corner. Who's going to hit who first is the question. Oh, nope, Snazzy's running away. Never mind.
Yeah, they're just going to rotate over towards B, maybe try the same thing where they then eventually take the teleporter. I think they want Mr. Memphi to try and find a pick. It has not been a good game for Prestige on the scoreboard. He is 0-6 right now after I think like a 24-4 performance on Ascent. So definitely when your top fragger is struggling, that's going to make it harder. I think Mr. Memphi's also 2-5, so it's going to be up to Snazzy or CC or Solix to maybe step up here and get the landslides back in this. There's that attacker Killjoy that's going to come down from the landslides. That's going to tell the Monsoons it is actually a B push. They're not going to go back to the teleporter. This Killjoy is going to buy him enough time to at least try and get that spike down and force a regain here from the Monsoons.
We do have Empress online for the Monsoons. That might be enough. Prior finds Snazzy. Muffins goes down to Mr. Memphi. The alarm bot from Solexic does, and well, Maeve went down to that. Prior finds CC. Memphi getting the 3rd piece, that 3rd kill on Prior. It is just Ellie standing. Will they be able to pop off and go for the exit frag? Hopefully they're where there's just 2 players standing for the landslides. Are you going to pop the Empress? We see the Lear come out. Now they know where Memphi's at. They find them. Will they be able to find Solexic as well? Using another Lear, trying to see if they can bait them out. They found them. Will you take them out? Or, oh no, that timer's too low. Solexic finds Ellie, and with that, landslides take their 2nd round.
And there was just so many close shots here. I hope we'll see. Oh, it looks like the replay. We didn't get to see because there was a missed op by E that would have taken out the spike plant. There was another incredibly close where Maeve actually could take it down Solix, but missed a couple shots while Solix was putting out their drone. So it's a couple of missed opportunities here for the Monsoons. Then a great play by Solix buying enough time to where it didn't matter if he lost that gunfight because there wasn't enough time for the defuse anyway. You can't miss those close opportunities, though. That's the one thing. But you see their Prestige sitting at 0-6. That, I think, is a big reason why the landslides are struggling right now. Thank you, scoreboard operator, for putting that back up there. If Prestige can turn things around on this breach, the landslides can easily come back. We do hear the knives come out from Mr. Memphi. He's over on B all by himself. Probably going to try and look for a solo pick and then have the rest of his team head on their way, as A is heavily fortified by the Monsoons.
You could see on that scoreboard, though, that the Monsoons went more of the eco by. Muffin spots Memphi. Oh, and they swap over to their pistol to finish that one out. Maeve, unfortunately, is collateral damage for them as well. So now it is just 3 standing. Ellie has their Empress, they're half health. The overheal may come to help them out, but they had to decide whether or not they're going to use it here. We still have 3 ults online for the landslides. One of those ults almost makes it impossible to get a plant defuse to happen, and then in conjunction with the Hunter's Fury, it's just going to be way too much damage. Mr. Memphi is on a sliver of health, though. You can't even see it on our UI here.
Yeah, he just ran away, and the rest of his team picked it up. That all started with a great double kill on that B site from Mr. Memphi. That completely opens up the site, and just unfortunately for Maeve, they either needed to push now or they needed to just hold off, because Memphi is going to get a great kill, get shot from Maeve, and then does just a great shooting by Mr. Memphi. And that double kill opened up B, and then the rest of the landslide just rotated over in quick order, and they won that round, and we almost got ourselves a tie game.
I'm interested to see if, oh, would you look at that? That's cool. All right, so we've got Ellie going with no armor. Classic is the only thing they have. We do see, though, that a lot of damage has been delivered already to one player on the landslides. They're gonna use, oh, it barely missed. Ellie, oh, you're in a dangerous situation there.
As soon as E takes a couple of shots, and it shows how much respect the landslides have, as the Astro Wall is going to go down to cut off Pryor's line of sight. It's all up to Ellie. Hunter's Fury will come out here, as Pryor does pick up one with that Hunter's Fury. Actually get a second one.
Nice job.
Once again, the Hunter's Fury in the Esports Tower get kills more often than not. Prestige still going to put that plant down using that Astro Wall. You can see all 3 members of the Monsoons just hanging out there, waiting for that Astro Wall to go down.
The recon dart placement is beautiful, but it's also right in their line of sight. We do see that there's some shots being taken here, but the Astra Smoke's just too much. Maeve's trying to play some cover out for their teammates. I think, oh no.
We have apparently hacked into the mainframe at this point.
Yeah, I was about to say, did we just get neuro theft?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how that happened, but yeah, I mean, I think that was a great Astro Wall. As you said, there was just shots going out, but nobody could push through. And once again, I think the landslides have adapted, and they've kind of gone for, we're going to bait out A. We're going to have Mr. Memphi kind of solo B, see if we can pick up a couple kills. And so far, that strategy's kind of worked out a lot better than the original strategy. But E on this operator is just absolutely insane. I had no idea they were this talented. We've seen them a lot with the Marshall last week in particular, but this operator for E might be enough to clutch out and maybe get us to a game 3. He's got a lot of huge frags. He's going to have to get a lot more, though, because they've only got 4 rounds, and depending on how this round goes, if we're able to reconnect, I mean, it would be 4-4 potentially if the landslides do win. So for E's great early round performance, the game's still tied.
Honestly, I just want to, no offense to E, we understand that you have a lot of agents under your belt and have experience with all of them, but I love seeing you on the Viper. And as I'm mentioning that, Mr. Memphi does find you and take you down. We do still have 4 members standing for the Monsoons, 2 standing now, and the plant's going to happen from Prestige with that. Are we going to see a retake, or are we going to see a waited out and just try to stay alive, or an exit frag? As I say that, Mr. Memphi picks up one. Muffins finds Mr. Memphi, though, and if we can get 2 more kills.
Oh, the neural theft came out, but it didn't really matter. It does look like we missed the round before this, so it does look like the Monsoons won the previous round.
Yay!
So, but it is 5-4 now as the landslides look to come back here. And this is where a lot of teams have found themselves against the landslides, is the Firestorms in particular, who have been the closest team to beating them, is they find themselves around 6-6, usually actually 6-6 going into the second half. And then the landslides will win like 4 rounds in a row, and they'll end up winning 13-9 or 13-8. So it's a great start for the Monsoons. If they can win another round, of course, they'll guarantee that they have a tie at the half. How do they do in the second half is the bigger question, because that's where the landslides have really pulled away from teams in our previous Rumbles. Is they've had a lot of times, especially recently, 6-6 at the half. Second half is where I think the Monsoons have got to show up here. Is he just actually missed Mr. Memphis.
Aw, dang it!
And then he gets taken out, and you can see the rotation coming out, but it's back to A for the landslides, and they look like they're in complete control.
We've got an eco round here for the Monsoons, possibly trying to see if they can get a thrifty victory here on this round. We do have Empress online, but Prestige finds Ellie before they can do anything with that. All 5 members of the landslides are still standing with just 2 remaining for the Monsoons. Pryor and Muffins have decided to work together, but now they've been cornered by Selexic and Memphis. And with that, the flawless goes to the landslides.
It's a great job by the landslides. Once again, they just push over to A. They take out the 2 members who are standing there, and they immediately force a rotation. And it does look like Prestige has the op, and I think since it was an eco round for the Monsoons, he's probably using E's op, if I had to guess, from a couple rounds ago. And that's very interesting because Prestige has been struggling. And so to give a player who at one point was 0-6, they're now 2-7 the op, and it is a very bold strat by the landslides, but I think it also says a lot of confidence that they have in Prestige to turn things around, and that it clearly maybe was just an early struggle on an operator we don't see him play a lot. So I like the confidence of saying, you know what, it has been your first maybe 10 rounds, let's just give you the op and you absolutely pop off, and we'll see if Prestige can get a couple shots here to start this round off. Little does he know he could shoot right through that wall.
Oh, E popping out that Venom Cloud. CC unfortunately will take them down before it's fully instigated. Ellie will find Selexic. They're coming through showers, but Memphis took out Ellie right after. We've got 2 ults online for the landslides at Hunter's Fury. Oh, look at that dart placement. That was beautiful. And we also have the knives from Mr. Memphis. Omen has their ult as well, but as Muffins goes down, it is just Omen and the Sova standing. I think never mind. It is just Omen. Maeve, I think it's time to get out. You found CC. That's enough. Unfortunately, Mr. Memphis blocked your exit path, and that is just how Mr. Memphis do.
This is a huge round here for the Monsoons because it is the last round before the swap. If they win this round, I'm going to like their chances of having a competitive second half. But if the landslides win what would be their 3rd round in a row, they go up 7-5 into the second half, and especially the way they've been playing these last few rounds, that's going to be a tough one to come back from. So I'd love to see the Monsoons get this round, force a 6-6, but you do see multiple judges on the side of the landslides, which they get or on the side of the Monsoons, if they get the landslides in close quarters combat, it'll be huge for them. That is a great recon dart. Does get taken out, but does give a little bit of information over, as we do hear the knives come out once again from Mr. Memphis.
If they're going with judges, a lot of them at least, perhaps the play here for the Monsoons is play for the retake. The recon dart did come out. Maeve's location's revealed. The attacker Killjoy is out as well. Maeve needs to get away or they will not be able to survive much longer. Selexa goes for the plant. Yes, okay, so we've got an Omen ult online as we see Hunter's Fury is going to come out. Mr. Memphis picks up E. The Hunter's Fury is going to do a bit of damage. Ellie will use the overheal from killing Mr. Memphis to help keep themselves alive. If Omen and Reyna from the Monsoons can work together here, use their ultimates, I foresee them being able to actually get this retake. But they have to have faith in one another, just like the landslides have faith in Prestige to pop off with that operator. As we see Snazzy find Maeve, so now it is really just up to Reyna. They have almost no health left on their Cypher, and now Sova and Cypher, let's see what they can do. Pryor, will you be able to find Snazzy first? You do! It's just 2 standing. Muffins found a 2-piece for themselves. Take out CC, then, dang it, CC had the better crosshair placement. It just ends up like that sometimes, but they do go down to the spike at least.
Yeah, I don't know if he really, I don't know if there was any other choice for Pryor but to maybe go for the defuse. That would have been tight on time. That's kind of why he was so reckless. This is great shooting here. Muffins with an absolute insane double kill at 8 HP. And then, as you mentioned, just better trigger placement. I also think CC had a little bit more information since Pryor had just killed his teammate. And now we go to the swap. Maybe the pistol round. If you win it for the Monsoons, you can get back to 7-7. But usually when the landslides go on a 3 or 4 round winning streak, they don't start losing very often. So you're going to be very hard pressed. You see there 4 rounds in a row for the landslides. I think that means they've started to figure things out here, but we'll have to see in this pistol round how things do go.
They did lose the first 2 on this map. If the Monsoons managed to win these next two, even our score out. This could be a very long series for us. We can say goodbye to our voices for the rest of the night, that's for sure.
Well, E can say goodbye to their lion this round as CC peeks the corner, one tap to the head. Able to take down that recon bolt, but that is huge. E has been the top fragger, which means it's probably going to be up to Maeve and Ellie as well. It's a great headshot on to Mr. Memphi. Maeve and Prestige battling on other sides of the wall. Prestige turned around, but CC gets one through the wall, making it a three-piece this round for CC. Solix challenges Maeve. It's all up to Pryor. Snazzy going to bait the defuse. Couple of shock darts do go out to stop that defuse process, but Pryor's all alone. Solix going to just challenge him, and really they're just stalling for time right now. Yeah, they don't have to win this. They just have to buy out time.
22 health. That's going to be difficult. Solexic does manage to get that final kill there. 17 seconds, a little more than 17 on the clock. Plenty of time to even, like, honestly go after the last player standing, but way to prioritize the win condition first.
1 second, peeps.
And this is something that, you know, we talked about in the early rounds, especially when Prestige was struggling, is CC has really come alive here in these grand finals. A triple kill there. I mean, I think Mr. Memphi is still top fragging. Yeah, he is still 16-10, but CC's 14-7 right behind him. And now this Landsides team feels like a real triple threat. I mean, of course, nothing against Snazzy and Solexic. They do their jobs very well, but now it really does feel like CC, Prestige, and Mr. Memphi can pop off at any single moment. And I don't know how you counter that. I honestly don't.
For the Monsoons, they have definitely got, they're going with another eco round here, but the Landslides had the opportunity to get at least half buys for themselves. It's going to make this move very difficult. We see the Lear come out there from Ellie. The Astra Smoke is up though. Maeve, nice click on Mr. Menfi's head. CC unfortunately takes down Ellie and Pryor, but Ellie returns the favor finding CC. It's now 3-3. Let's see who has the more information in their pocket here to come out on top. The spike is in Ellie's possession. They're going for the plant. Solexic is choosing to wrap around. Prestige finds Ellie, and unfortunately the spike had not gone down yet.
Well, Muffin, oh no, that's just communication problem there for the Monsoons. Ellie got sprayed down mid-plant, and I guess nobody told Omen that, or Cypher that, because he just went and picked up the spike and died to the same person. Very unfortunate, but again, where did that come from? It was a great flank from Prestige. You gotta be ready for those Prestige flanks. He does that incredibly well, even when he's not having the best game.
We do have E with the spike this time. No ult yet online, which is a good sign. We have seen at this point multiple members on the Landslides manage to get their ultimates up, especially Prestige. Unfortunately, this round is just not fully in their favor. Perhaps playing a different agent is forcing them to play differently. I mean, of course it's going to. Now, let's see if E, with the help of their two teammates, can get the advantage here as we see the smoke and the Lear come out there. Ellie trying to check those corners, make sure you don't go down. Solexic is looking right down that pathway, though, so they got to be careful here. They can just see their arm, though. I think they know they're there.
I want to see E have a good round without the op, just to kind of prove that, you know, this hasn't been a fluke and he's not just a one-trick. As Maeve gets a great pick through the Viper smoke, E's going to get that spike down. Prestige does pick up a double kill before Pryor takes him out. CC gets one, make it two. E is the last player standing now in a 1v2, making a 1v1 versus Memphi, who's up in hookah. Memphi only has a pistol, and he still gets it done with the Sheriff.
I think E was down to like 5 health. That was going to be hard.
Yeah, that was going to be very hard, but I mean, E rose up to the challenge. As I said, they've had a great round with the op. I wanted to see them do it with an AR, and they were absolutely insane. Unfortunately, as you mentioned, low health plus Mr. Memphi is never a good combination. They get a great one here onto CC. Well, they were at 92. Memphi just headshot him. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. Sheriff headshot with a wall bang in there for good measure.
It might as well be like that. Very much so. Not respected ult from another game, huh, Fish?
Yeah, that was... I mean, I thought Memphi only had a pistol. He had an AR. I mean, that's just Memphi's like, you know, I'm just going to get a headshot from hookah. That's fine. But E, I want to see E have a great round. I'd love to see him get another op because I think he's been fantastic with it. And that feels like how the Monsoons have won most of their rounds is when E gets that op and absolutely pops off. A little bit harder to op offensively than it is to just kind of hold the spot and op down.
We've got E with their ultimate online, as does Maeve. Let's see if that'll be able to make much happen here. Prestige is going to, however, make it difficult for anybody to do much. CC finds Ellie and E. Prestige finds Pryor. Snazzy takes out 2 though, and the round ends very fast. We are closing that gap to the finish line here. Let's see if the Monsoons can bring it back. They still have ults online. Let's see if any more are going to come online at the start of this next round. They have definitely shown that they can take on the landslides. Let's see if they can close the gap between them right here in this next one though.
Yeah, and this is what I was talking about. This is where teams have struggled against the landslides, especially in the second half. The landslides just have another gear that they absolutely just blow teams away in, and I'd love to see. E has been playing fantastic. Now they need one other teammate to have an insane round. Maybe it's Maeve, who's at 10 and 14. Maybe it's Muffins or somebody else like Ellie, who's able to just get a great double kill there. You do see, unfortunately, the Monsoons are kind of forced to eco a bit here, knowing if they lose this round, they'll be on match point. You never want to eco on match point. So they're going to need a round win here, or if they don't, it's going to be very scary as Maeve looking for that first blood, kind of getting sprayed through, and Memphi gets that first elimination onto Ellie.
Maeve is deciding to make sure that no one's on that flank. Unfortunately, Muffins, E, and Pryor are all going to go down. Now it is just Maeve standing as they go down to CC. All right, on this next round, this is match point. They can full by Monsoons. I want to see you work together. Use at least 2 of your ultimates to take out the landslides. Go fast, go hard. Maybe, you know, send... I want to see the Empress in conjunction with Cypher. So Reyna and Cypher work together, go on the flank, get an easy pick, allow for the neuro theft to happen, and then just E, go run in with help of your Omen smoke and get the plant.
If E can get that plant early, E can get their ult off and make a regain a little bit harder for the landslides. Unfortunately, I think every time E has dropped their ult, they've almost immediately died this game. So trying to change things up here. But yeah, if they can get a quick plant with E, get that Viper ult down, as you mentioned, maybe a neural theft, that's a great start as Prestige does get 1 to make it even as Mr. Memphi was taken out. Snazzy takes out E. That takes that Viper ult offline. Snazzy picking up a double kill for himself. Muffins trying to put that Cypher cage. Oh, Prestige with the great angle. Maeve gets taken out, and just like that, I think that's 9 rounds in a row for the landslides. And once again, new week, same result. The landslides are our grand final champions.
Congratulations, landslides, and congratulations, Monsoons. You guys have shown fantastic improvements since the first time we got to see you. You managed to make it this far. Let's see if, you know, maybe next week you get to go a little bit further and at least take 1 map off the landslides. Maybe we can get the opportunity to actually see how the map bans happen as well. We'll see Icebox first.
Well, if you want to be seen by expert college recruiters, talk directly to esports industry insiders like pro athletes, team general managers, and game producers, then join the club. Esports Tower players get insider access to industry insights. With our featured rumbles, recruiters are taking notice as well. It's a great way to score exposure if you're looking to start your path to pro or to land a collegiate scholarship. No, I think you absolutely nailed that, Nerdy. The Monsoons played fantastically. They beat Surge White earlier in this bracket. They beat him last week. That's that upper echelon of teams that we really want to see another team break through, because it's the landslides on top and then the Firestorm and Surge White. I think the Monsoons can get it done. And honestly, something that it'll go under the radar, and of course you never want to hear about moral victories when you do take a loss, is that's a great recovery. When you go onto Ascent and the landslides kind of just have their way in everything they want to do, to come back, have a lead for a majority of the first half on Bind, which is a map you picked, which is a map you are very good on. I think there's a lot of things. You see their landslide 6-time champions in a row is absolutely insane to me. There's a lot of good things coming for the Monsoons. I think with some VOD review, they can make it happen. And like you said, I'd love to kind of hear how the map bans work, because you just can't let Ascent through. Nobody can let Ascent through. I mean, we've seen maybe one team challenge them, but you just can't have it happen. You can't have it happen.
We're voting right now to just ban that map, really.
It's harder with Breeze, though, because Breeze does make it so there's now an extra map in there, and maybe you're not comfortable on Breeze, maybe you're not comfortable on Icebox, maybe those are the bans. Like I said, I'm going to try and get into with the esports time and figure out exactly how all it goes, because yeah, I love the pick, though. I love saying, you know what, we're not going to pick Icebox. We're not going to say we want to play on their worst map. We want to play on our best map, which was Bind. Great start to the round, which is what teams have been doing. You've been getting closer and closer to your teams have leads in the first half. It's that second half where the landslides are just a different team. They didn't even lose a round in the second half today, and I don't know how you stop that.
Well, so the landslides completely popped off, but you know, we have an award to give out, though it is a tradition here, and I'm going to challenge you to not mention a single player from the landslide so we can try and spread the love a little bit more. We did see the Monsoons, and we got to see
the Hurricanes
earlier this evening. From those two teams, who do you feel like deserves to be our ICCU player of the game?
I think it's a reason why we give Mr. Memphi the player of the game a bunch. It's insane play with the op, and there would be a tie. It'd be Majabis and E. We're absolutely fantastic oppers for both their teams. They gave the Hurricanes for Majabis and the Monsoons for E an opportunity to get back in the game. So I would love to see it be one of those. Probably E, just because they were in the grand finals. We saw them a couple more times. But I think if we're going away from the team that's probably won it all, though, I think maybe Snazzy or Solix have not won one yet. So I'd like to see them get one as well. But I'd have to go with E, probably be my non-landslides player of the game.
My vote also goes to E. I mean, yes, your ultimates did not work out in your favor, but that just happens. It happens in like every game that has ults. But let's see what the actual decider is for the ICCU player of the game. We just are allowed to provide suggestions here. We're not the ones that get to actually choose. And it looks like the winner of the player of the game is going to be Prestige.
Prestige played absolutely fantastic, especially on that first map. He almost single-handedly carried the landslides with some fantastic flanks, absolutely just destroying the Monsoons. I think the Monsoons probably are going to have nightmares of Prestige flanking them, and they're going to be checking corners even in their just solo queue games. Like, I thought Prestige was over there, I swear. You know, didn't quite do as well on that breach on that second map, and I think CC played really well. CC was kind of would have been my landslide suggestion, but I think Prestige is a very well-deserved. I mean, I don't remember the scoreboard. I think it was something like 24-3 in game one, which is just insane to me how good Prestige is on that sky, and absolutely love to see it for the landslides. A huge congratulations to him.
The player of the game is brought to you by Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a great player makes the team more successful, just like Idaho Central is helping members achieve financial success. Prestige is the Idaho Central Credit Union player of the game. Congratulations.
I might have to go back. I'm very curious. I'm sure there has to be a very close competition between Prestige and Mr. Memphi for most Idaho Central Credit Union players of the game in the Esports Tower. Valorant Rumbles, of course, when your team is 6-time champions, there's a big reason why you will have that competition. So I'd love to see maybe who is competing between them, but I think CC deserves a huge shout-out as well. He ended up top fragging in that second game on Bind. And the fact that he is getting stronger and stronger makes this landslides team even more difficult to stop, which is something I never thought I'd say, because Prestige struggled. I mean, I think Prestige would even be honest. He kind of struggled on that Bind map until he got the op, and then he was able to make some big plays, especially in the second half. But huge props to CC. I mean, now you have a three-headed monster with CC, Prestige, and Mr. Memphi, and they all play incredibly well.
Well, we'll have to find the Achilles heel of that monster, but congratulations to the Landslides winning out their 6th consecutive Esports Tower Rumble here. The Monsoons gave it their all, as did my apologies, my brain just blanked out. The Monsoons did a fantastic job this evening, and by winning this, the Landslides will be representing Esports Tower in the BFC Valorant Cup once again. I believe that takes place this weekend. So if you want to find out more about the BFC and how to qualify for Esports Tower, check out esportstower.com/BFC. Congratulations to all the teams this week, and we'll be seeing you next week with more Valorant action on Wednesday.
Yeah, cannot wait to see how maybe the teams we saw here tonight, the Hurricanes and the Monsoons, do. I think both those teams could easily make it back to the semifinals and the grand finals, and I'd love to see. We've been waiting. I was the one who kind of started the train saying, hey, somebody's eventually going to challenge the landslides, and it depends, I guess, on your definition of challenge. We're getting closer, but I still want to see somebody knock them off. But once again, huge congratulations. 6-time champions. Absolutely insane. We will wrap up the broadcast tonight with our top 5 plays presented by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time. More than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. The Idaho Army National Guard is the best team out there, though. The landslides almost very equal to them. But reach out at iGuard Gaming on Twitch. And here are your top 5 plays from the 6th straight championship for the landslides. Viper smoke. He's going to get that spike down. Prestige does pick up a double kill before Pryor takes him out. CC gets 1, make it 2. E is the last player standing now in a 1v2, making a 1v1 versus Memphi, who's up in hookah. Memphi only has a pistol, and he still gets it done with the Sheriff.
I think E was down to like 5 health.
How much, credits he has and why he just doesn't stick with the pistol, but
I told you, it's for that close range surprise.
Especially when you have that Marshall, but CC gets a double kill there, and unfortunately the landslide's not going to push onto that site. E's going to get taken out by CC, who's now on a triple kill. He's trying to rotate over and slowly pushing. No. He's going to sandwich it. No one's looking there. Great blind does go out. Nobody knows Memphis there. They have to push in. Maeve gets taken out first. Here comes Mr. Memphis. Snazzy gets another one. He's going to see E right there.
Right.
No, there's Mr. Memphis. He'll finish 2 to the head.
There was a huge blind.
On Ellie with Mr. Memphis as the op, you know things are going to go south for you in a hurry. Prestige takes out Pryor. He's going for the flank as well. Goes a great hawk there. Picks up one, picks up another through the jet smoke. It's all down to E in the corner, and it's a 4-piece. And another flawless round for Prestige. And Hadi looking in the right direction. We're going to follow his arrow as CC picks up a double kill. Prestige is literally behind him. Pryor has no idea. Oh, he almost turned around, so Prestige couldn't get the knife to the back. It's a great flash on to Maeve. Ellie does pick up double.
Up 3.
But in the end, actually, I was down to a 1v1.